Cleveland! We gotta talk. Thursday night football. Browns, Bengals. Both teams looking to win. You don't want to start the season off 0-2 because that'll be troublesome. But for the Browns specifically, I feel personally, this is a must-win game for them. I don't know how Browns feel, but I feel this is a must-win game for you guys. And I feel like we tend to overuse the term must-win game because we feel like, oh, this is a must-win game. If you're going up against a top team, you must win this game. But I feel like it should be saved for rare circumstances. And this is one of those rare circumstances. You cannot go down 0-2 to start the season. Cleveland's in quite a predicament because if they lose on Thursday night, not only are they going down 0-2 just in general, they'll be down 0-2 in the division. You're in the AFC North where you're dealing with both Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and you want to try and win the division. Starting off 0-2 in the division, that's close to eliminating yourself from even winning the division. Unless you're going to pull what Baltimore did and somehow win like 14 straight games. Well, I mean, Baltimore pulled 12. They won 12 straight games. But for Cleveland, winning 14 games this season would probably give them the AFC North. Unless Baltimore finds a way to win 15 games in that case. Then like, okay, we're getting off topic. But like, unless you pull something like Baltimore did where they just continued to stack wins and they didn't lose for the regular season, you're not going to be able to win the AFC North if you go down 0-2. So being 0-2 in the division, that's not what you want to do, Cleveland. This is a must-win game. And I understand week 1 didn't go the way you wanted to go. But if you look at kind of look at it and analyze it and look at some level of positivity, hey, you got a new coach. There was no preseason to work this out. So you're running a new system now here with Baker, and they all got to learn it. You didn't have time to really go out there and test what works, what doesn't work. You just got thrown out there in week 1 against Baltimore. And plus, you were going up against the Ravens, who are considered by many to be a Super Bowl team. So you weren't really expected to win. Obviously, you didn't expect to get blown out like that, and you wanted to compete to win. But you didn't expect to win for the most part. At least fans. Of course, I believe those players went out there in Baltimore with the assumption, well, not the assumption, with the belief that they were good enough to beat that team and that they could beat that team because they won in their building last year. So I think they had the confidence. Baltimore just found a way to crush them. It just was not good for them. But, you know, again, it was week 1. You got a new system. You got a lot of things to work out. So it's all good. However, losing here, week 2 against Cincinnati, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Cincinnati, starting a rookie quarterback in Joe Burrow, they're also trying to rebuild and create something there. A new culture, hopefully a winning culture in Cincinnati with their new hopeful franchise quarterback. You guys are trying to do the same, but at this point, you're supposed to be ahead of them. You've got one of the most talented rosters in the NFL. You got Odell Beckham Jr., who has been an absolute disappointment with the Browns. You know, I don't know what happened to the Giants, Odell, but he did not come to Cleveland, clearly. But he's still supposed to be considered, he's at least one of the most talented receivers in the game when he does play the way he's supposed to play. Then you got Jarvis Landry, who's one of the, in my opinion, one of the best receivers in the game. He's one of the clutchest receivers in the game. And Baker needs to find him more. Then you got Austin Hooper, who's also a great tight end. He was a great tight end for the Falcons. He had a good year with them. He's a great tight end. Then you got Nick Chubb and you got Kareem Hunt. You've got one of the most talented offensive rosters in the league. So you've got to produce more. You're supposed to be ahead of Cincinnati. If you go out there and you lose your home opener to the Cincinnati Bengals and start 0-2, it may be time to panic a little. Not completely panic, but just panic a little. Because you do, out of everything, all the work that's been put in, all the changes for this new coordinator, all the talent on this roster, to be wasted and to go 0-2, you can't do it. You can't do it. You gotta find a way to win. You didn't even go 0-2 last season. If you're going 0-2 this season, you've already started off worse than you did last season. So, Cleveland's gotta find a way to win this game. Now, in terms of matchups and talking about this game, honestly, offensively, again, Cleveland has the edge in terms of rosters. And defensively, honestly, both these defenses they haven't been really impressive. I mean, in terms of defensive lines, you could probably give it to Cleveland, but in terms of secondaries, both these secondaries have not been impressive. Though I will give credit to Cincinnati. They actually did pretty well against Tyrod Taylor and the Chargers in week 1, so maybe you give them the edge in this game in terms of the defense. But for the most part, overall, Cleveland is just a more talented team than Cincinnati. They're supposed to beat Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's just not going to sit back and let you just beat them and just dominate. No, they're gonna fight back. They've got talent on their offense too. You know, they got AJ Green there. They still got a lot of talented guys on their roster. They're not just gonna sit back and let Cleveland do whatever they want. So it's going to be a fight. And Joe Burrow, if you looked at what he was able to do week 1, after he threw that interception, he looked poised. He looked like a veteran quarterback. When he was running that final drive, he was marching them down the field on the Chargers defense. And had that penalty not been called, they were going to win with that touchdown. So if you saw Joe Burrow on that final drive, which should have been a game-winning drive, or at least a game-tying drive, but, you know, the penalty, and then the kicker not only missing the kick, but suffering a hamstring injury at the same time. Good God, I'm wishing the best for Joe Burrow. Welcome to Cincinnati, man. You're going to be dealing with a lot of this, especially with the kicking. But yeah, for them to be that close, and for him to initiate that drive, that says a lot about where Joe Burrow is right now, already as a rookie. So he's going to be looking to take advantage of the weaknesses in that Cleveland secondary. So Cleveland, you got to respond. Simple game plan. Defensively, try to stop the run game of Cincinnati and see how much you can limit Joe Burrow. He's a rookie, so try and force him to make mistakes. He's going to make some rookie mistakes, so try to force him to make mistakes and capitalize on those mistakes. Offensively, please, for the love of God, Cleveland. Browns fans know this and have been praying for Stefanski to do this. Run the ball. You have Kareem Hunt. You have Nick Chubb. Just give Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt the ball. Between the two of them, they should get 40 carries tomorrow night. Stop throwing the ball 30-plus times with Baker. That is not going to lead to wins. Run the ball with your two backs. Initiate the play action. Work off the strength of your quarterbacks. He should be focusing on Landry. He should be focusing on hitting his tight ends. That's where he is his best. When he's able to play that play action game and hit his tight end and hit Landry, we have seen Baker have some sort of success. I'm tired of seeing Baker force feed the ball to Odell. It's not working. You're trying to force a chemistry that's not there. If you continue to do that, you're going to cost yourself some games. Run the football. Play the play action game. Hit your tight ends more. Give some more targets to Landry. And watch. You will be able to win tomorrow night. It's all up to Stefanski and what he does with this coaching. So, Cleveland, the ball's in your court. You go down 0-2, your season is in quite the jeopardy. You could probably still make the playoffs, but in terms of winning the AFC North, you could throw that out the way. Because you start 0-2 in the AFC North with Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and you expect to win that division? I don't see it. I don't see it. Especially because Baltimore does not look like they're ready to give up the AFC North crown. And now Pittsburgh's also looking relatively solid, and Ben Roethlisberger is looking good, or at least average. And most people said, well, it was the Giants, so he was average, but I feel like he played relatively well. So, like, with Ben Roethlisberger and back with the Steelers, with that defense, to just expect to be able to win the AFC North after going down 0-2 in the division, it's not going to happen. So, Cleveland, ball's in your court. Tomorrow is crucial. You better find a way to win the game because it is important. Anyway, that's all I got. We'll see what happens tomorrow night, though I might not be completely watching because Miami is playing the Celtics for game 2. I'll see what I can do. I'll try to watch both games. Anyway, that's all I got, and I'm out of here. Peace!